Right, we are going to start. Let the people who are running late, they will catch up with us as we proceed in this particular model. All right, you're welcome, everybody. Good to see everybody. Good to see people from different countries, different cities, different industries, and different backgrounds. All right, if you are okay with that, let's go ahead in the chat box and just network for a moment. Let us know your name and where you're connecting from. You never know, you can meet somebody in the chat box and you guys can connect and sign a business deal. I can give you guys many feedback and testimonies of people being able to strike partnerships after meeting at my event. So I have the grace to connect millionaires and billionaires. All right. So go ahead in the chat box and feel free to let us know your name, where you're connecting from, and what you do. I always say that if you run a startup, you're an entrepreneur running a startup, proudly say that you're looking for investors because you never know the millionaire that is in the chat box that can invest in your business. All right. So go ahead and let's do that as we start like in 2 minutes and cover this first module of cohort 4 of the Skills and Monetization Academy. All right, so this is for mostly for those who are here on Zoom. But if you are following on YouTube, we always like to stream our first class for free and give people a foretaste of what they missed for not registering in the academy. All right. Excellent. All right. The media team tells me that we're doing good on different platforms. All right. Good. I see my brother Ngum Promise from Boya. I see Ashley from Boya. All right. Can you tell us what you do? All right. And it's good. What do you do? Awesome. All right. I see Abisola connecting from London, customer experience strategist. So if you run a startup, you're building apps, websites, you want to give a good experience to your customers, maybe you should be thinking of hiring a Bisola from London, right? She's not expensive. That's a joke, right? Okay, so you all are welcome to Skills and Monetization Academy. This is cohort 4, the first class. Like I said, we always like to have our first class for free for many people who are in the community and they're wondering, what is this all about? And give them a foretaste of what they will be learning. But today, and in each cohort, I always start with something totally new. And that's why in this cohort, you're going to meet people from the alumni from cohort 1, cohort 2, cohort 3. They'll be here because when you have gone through the academy, you join the alumni where you always enjoy support and you can always attend many of our programs that we do in the Skills Monetization Academy. All right, so today I want to handle a key topic that many people always have issues with, which is I am confused. How do I make money from all these that I know? Right? And from my experience, I have been providing monetization coaching and consulting like since 2017. I have helped so many people that I've lost count to build consulting careers from their experiences, to turn coaching products from their journeys and what they have done. And this is something that I have seen people worry about on and off and consistently because it is always the problem or the worry. How do I turn my experience, my career? I am having this, confusion, the issue of having the right clarity, creating the right products, and of course, the right cash from it. And for those who have registered for the program, you will take a course, I think that is module 8, on how to create a consulting business from your experience, right? Because consultants basically just solve problems from what they are good at, or from what they have, spent time to study, or from what they have experience, from. That's why if you go through a good PhD program, you can become a very good consultant, right? And if you have some experience in any area, you can become a good consultant because you are just somebody who is good at, you have gone through the path, or you have studied it so well that you can help somebody who has limited knowledge and limited experience to achieve results faster with lesser mistakes, and of course with proven frameworks based on what you have been able to do. All right. So today I want to focus on how do you turn, that confusion, because the problem here is that, all right, the problem here is that you are just confused. You have the career, you have the experiences, you have the journey, but the problem is which part of this career, which part of this experience can I turn into a payable product that I can actually monetize in a way that when I when you are executing your launching strategy, right? And that's one of the courses you're going to go through, a 15 step blueprint with a 21 days launch sequence template that you can use to launch your products on different online platforms and make good sales. But before you start launching, how do you now convert these profound experiences from different areas into various products that you can launch? And one of the things that you will learn in this program is how to create 10 income streams from one area of expertise, which is very possible, right? And but to get to that level, what part of your experience can you now extract and say, okay, this is the expertise that I want to capitalize on and convert it into 10 different sources of income, and I begin to launch them using different strategies that you are going to be able to have, right? Because if you stay in career confusion or experience confusion, you are going to be ignored in the market. Why? Because the marketplace rewards specificity, right? Or expertise or transformation that they can understand. And that's why when you're confused, you find it difficult to be marketable. So, clarity is one of the things that you must know how to get in order to be marketable in any industry. Because I have seen many talented people, vast experiences. And sometimes my first exclamation is always, why are you not making good money from this? And they're like, I don't know what to do, right? Because you can be talented and not marketable. You can have a lot of experience and not marketable. Because what makes you marketable is not the so much experience. It is in crafting products out of that experience and knowing how to deliver the value through that particular product. And that's what you're going to get here, right? So, because like I always fondly say, confused people don't get hired, right? They don't get paid because people find it difficult to pinpoint what problem can you solve for me that I will not have doubt that you're an expert. And that's why clarity is paramount. It is literally the foundation if you are going to be a bankable expert, right? Because a bankable expert is somebody who is literally making some money from your experience. So if you're going to be a bankable expert, the first step is move from that career confusion or experience confusion into that clarity. So the purpose of this first module today is before you start going through other modules, how do we ensure that there is no confusion when it comes to what you can monetize, what you can begin to build as monetizable offers while positioning yourself in the marketplace. So I like to teach this in steps so you know what you're going to be doing that will enable you to move from that confusion to that place of having clarity on what to take to the market and even how to charge for what you're taking to the market. All right. If this is something that you know that you need it, type I need it in the chat box. Let me know that this is something that you need. Right? Type I need it. If you know, it's not for everybody, of course, right? But if you know that you need this, you want to know what is that part of me that is marketable, type I need this in the chat box. All right. Good. Good. All right. So, what is the first step of handling this? Step one, audit your value DNA. Audit your value DNA. All right. So, in the chat box, I am going to share a template that I have spent time to develop. All right. So, it is called the value DNA, and you're going to see two things. There is like a workbook. All right. It is called the value DNA and how to identify market pain problems. All right. Value DNA and how to identify market pain problems. So you're going to use that notebook. For those who are in the program, you're going to work on that workbook and we're going to be having discussions around it in our subsequent classes. Okay. So the purpose of that workbook is to help you to be able to audit your value DNA to understand clearly what do you command as value as a professional. Okay? Because you can't sell what you cannot define. And that's why the purpose of that value DNA sheet and how to identify marketable pain problems is for you to work on it, feel it. It's going to ask some questions. Your goal in that workbook is not to be perfect, is to be transparent, is to try to pour out your experience on it as much as possible because it is going to help you to see patterns of where you are good at and the problems that are marketable in a market that you can solve and get paid for those problems. Okay? Because if you don't audit your value DNA, you will not be able to define exactly the value you command in the market. And why is this important? Because you cannot sell what you cannot define. You see, when you're having a sales conversation, let's say, for example, I was having a sales conversation today for somebody one of my consulting products, and I charge a fee. I'm like, okay, you know what? This you need to pay me $5,000 for this particular service. All right, good. But if I'm going to get that person to pay for that service, whether it's a 10,000 consulting product or a 5,000 consulting product, one thing I must not babble about is defining the value I am bringing to that business or to that person. And I can only be able to define that value if I have audited my own value. You see? So in that workbook, one of the things that you're going to see there is that it is going to challenge you to list your top 5 career achievements because we want to go back into your career DNA and help you in the last 5 years, in the last 2 years, in the last 3 years. What are your top 5 career achievements? You document it. Even if you won an award, write it there. Because we want to extract something from your career DNA, from your experience process. All right. You will see another part of that workbook that will begin to challenge you to write out the 5 problems you have solved as an expert. So spend time, begin to write the 5 problems you can solve without blinking as an expert. Right? And then another part will challenge you to write the 5 skills that you are known for. If you work in a company, if you run a business, or you're a professional service provider, what are the 5 top skills that your clients know you for, or your boss and your colleagues know you for? All right. So 5 top career achievements. Spend time documented. 5 problems you have solved in the past. Top problems that you solve effortlessly and you're good at. Write it out. What are the 5 skills that you are known for? Write it out. Now, for everybody here, one truth is that your career leaves behind measurable skills, measurable footprints that are very specific, clear outcomes that you have created, even crises that you have solved in the past, very distinctive skills. And this is what the market rewards you for. You see? Because if I am going to help you to craft out sellable offers, products that when you take it to the market and talk about it, people will be hungry to pay. We need to dig deep back into where you're coming from professionally. Because when you're able to define that unique problem solving record of yours, it will help you to clarify where, listen to me carefully, where your expertise intersects with marketable demand, where your expertise intersects with marketplace demand, because that is how you start making money. This is what I'm good at. All right, what is the marketplace demand? That intersection is where money starts happening. All right, because if you are able to just discover your expertise and there is no marketplace demand, you become very talented or become so good at something, but yet you are broke, right? Because you only start making money when your expertise intersects with that marketplace demand. Okay, so that precise inventory of your demonstrated value helps you to separate what is monetizable from what is merely experience. You see, you can have experience at something that is just experience. It is not monetizable. But the fact is that if you have journeyed through any process, in that experience, in that process, there is something that is monetizable. There is no human being that I've sat with, even as something that may sound so foolish to them, if I sit with you, there will always be something that can make money out of your experience. You just need to find it, right? So, for example, let's say that a few people here are into marriage counseling and relationship coaching. So, a marriage counselor can, as you're documenting that, you cannot discover that, oh, in the last 5 years, I have helped about 10 couples to restore trust in their marriage after issues of infidelity. Now, this is a pattern you are discovering out of your massive experience in marriage counseling. But as you're filling that workbook, as you're going through this value DNA auditing, you're discovering some key things that you have done here and there. You're like, oh, in the last 10 years, I am so good at helping couples to restore trust in their marriages after issues of infidelity arise in those marriages. Hmm. It is marketable transformation. You now begin to work on that more. How can you now build a coaching product on focusing on restoring fidelity in marriages? Okay, how can I put together a conference on how to restore fidelity in marriages? Nice. Oh, how can I record a video course on how to restore fidelity in marriages? Great. How can I create a relationship bootcamp on a beach somewhere for couples to come and participate to restore trust in their marriages? You see, you, you now see how your brain is now thinking in terms of different products to create because you have discovered a marketable transformation. So audit your value DNA. Fill that workbook. It will help you to discover that, oh, I have a lot of value here. I have a lot of value here. I have it here. I have it here. Because when you're able to establish that, it becomes very easy for us to start focusing on other things, the marketing part of it, the launching part of it, the refining part of it, the packaging part of it, in a way that people can understand and pay for it. So when you audit your value DNA, you now go to step two, which is identify the market pain problems. Very important step. Identify the market pain problems. Why? Because you see, human beings are selfish. I am selfish. You are selfish, whether I like it or not, right? It's a human nature. We are selfish as human beings. So, what does that mean to you and I? And what does that mean for us in business? It means that people don't pay for skills. You see, people pay for solutions to their problems. That's why you go to the doctor. When you're in pain, like I always give an example that I don't think that many of us have ever gone to a doctor and we're like, uh, which church do you go to? Right? If you don't go to my church, you will not treat me. Because when you're in pain, you don't care religion. When you're in pain, you don't care the tribe. When you're in pain, you don't care whether he's black or white. What you care is, can you get me the hell out of this pain? So, what does that mean to you as an expert? People don't pay for your skills alone. People pay for the solutions to the pressing problems that your skill can create. Because like we always say in I do a lot of startup consulting and work with investors in that light. And when I'm working with startup guys, I tell them, look, in the marketplace, revenue flows towards pain points. That's where money flows to. Money follows pain points. So if you are solving that pain points, I guarantee you money will follow you. So it's the same in your industry and for you as an expert. When you identify the market pain problems, you will be able to attract money coming to you, right? Because you are solving the pressing problems of people, because you're addressing the pain points of people, and revenue begin to flow through you. Now, when you go to, I think is page 4 of that workbook I've shared with you, it will begin to challenge you to do some work to begin to discover the kind of pains, the biggest challenge that your target market is facing, right? You talk to them so that you can analyze their responses and begin to understand what is the challenge for these people. What is the impact or the cost of this problem in their life? What is the frequency of this particular problem in the life of that person? Because this is also important for pricing, right? For example, I have some consulting offers that when you come to me, when I put my price, like you go up and come down is your problem. I know that that problem is hurting you so bad, you still you end up paying me, right? So I don't over bargain about that some particular programs, because I know that whether I like it or not, the problem is serious for you, for your business. So you go up and come down, you still end up paying. If you don't pay, that's fine. I'm not feeding the problem. I'm not feeding the product actually, right? So I'm not desperate to get paid. But what I know also is that I am solving a pressing problem for you, that whether it's expensive or it's not expensive for you, you will end up paying. Why? Because I know that the solution is addressing a pressing problem. You see, when you get this done, you will stop getting agitated when you let me put it this way, you will stop being afraid when charging for your service. Like I always tell people, sometimes when you tell somebody your price, shut up. Many people don't know how to shut up. They're agitated. What if they don't pay? Will they pay? Will they go? Will they stay? No, you are not yet a serious businessman if you still have those kind of fears. Come to a place of confidence in your product, in yourself, where when you tell somebody your price, shut the hell up. You can say other things, but let that price stay, except you have made up your mind to offer discounts, right? But don't allow agitations or anxiety or fear to make you start dropping prices when nobody actually asked you to drop their prices, when they didn't, where they did not even complain that the prices are too much, right? Now, you also get to this level of consciousness and confidence when you have identified the market pain problems and you have developed the solution that solves that pressing problem, and you're confident in the solution, in the delivery, and of course, in the outcome. Okay? So that's why one of the best things you can identify as a professional, as a business owner is identify the costliest frustrations your audience or your target market always face. What is the costliest frustrations that people who have this problem face? When you identify that frustration, you now drive your conversation around that. You will most at times close the deal and get paid. You see, because you can only uncover opportunities when you understand the market pain problems. And you can only begin to command premium pricing and even experience rapid adoption of what you're selling when you're clearly targeting the market pain problems for the right people. You see, because when you also study the marketplace, you understand that the market rarely reward generic skill set. Like, for example, you hardly see me present myself as a business coach. I hardly do that, right? Because it's too generic. It's too generic. I prefer to focus on strategy development and execution and even give you timelines. They know what, okay, based on this problem, I will create a strategy for you and we execute it in 60 days. And these are the outcomes you're going to see in your business. It's part of business coaching. Why? Because I know that the market hardly pays for generic skill set people. No, you hardly command payment like that. You see, and it also makes it easy for you to be rewarded, right? And it makes it easy for people to pay your price because they already know that, look, if we don't pay this guy or this lady, we're not going to get somebody who is so good at this particular area of solving this problem. So for all of you who want to monetize your knowledge and your experience, one thing you cannot dabble with is identifying the market pain problems that your skill set can address. It's one of the best things that you can do because you will uncover the opportunities and start being able to command a premium pricing and even experience rapid adoption for what you're trying to sell. Okay, so spend some time and begin to do that, right? And that's why, like I always tell people, you cannot do this so well if you don't spend time to talk to some people that are your target market. Interview 5 people in your target space. Interview 10 people. It can be even friends. It can be, casual people or friends on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or wherever you are. Interview them, or colleagues, or people in your industry, if you're fellow experts. Anticipate. Ask questions like, if I develop a problem, if I develop a solution that solves this problem in 3 days, in 30 days, in 90 days, in 200 days, or in 3 months, and I charge this fee, will you happily pay for this solution? Right? And one of the things that I do for those who follow me on social media, especially Facebook, sometimes I'll post very short quotes. And those quotes, many people think that there are quotes, but I'm using it to gauge the market. I see reactions, I see comments, I see questions, I see disagreements and agreements. It helps me to confirm that, oh, this product you're building is going to solve problems for this set of people. It's another way to do that, right? So, how do you identify market pain problems? Apart from assumptions, apart from experiences, go deeper and try to talk to a few people in that target market. Ask questions like, based on this particular area, what is the biggest challenge in this area? What are your biggest frustrations? Why? Because you want to validate that the problem exists and you are also validating your own idea. when I'm doing business coaching for startup, one of my laws is that if I'm working with you to launch a product into the market, I don't we don't launch that product if you have not interviewed at least 200 people in your target market, so that we avoid guesswork and assumptions. The data will help us understand, are there really frustrations in this particular sector of the market? The people you're targeting, do they have the frustrations? And if yes, now let's look at your product. Can it solve the frustrations? And if yes, at what pace? What duration? At what cost? Okay, looking at the cost, can they afford it? If yes, all right, you see, the product start making some sense for the founder and the same for the target market. So it's the same for many of us here that want to start monetizing your knowledge and your experience. You have a lot of experience and processes that if you create frameworks and lead people through, they will see amazing results. I think course 10 talks about how to create a framework from your experience and use that framework to create transformation for people. You see, so you do that. Now, let's look at, let's say, an accountant, for example. Let's say an accountant, you discover that, oh, small and medium-sized enterprises, they struggle with paying taxes and they end up incurring tax penalties. That is a problem. That's an example of a market paying problem. So as an accountant, you can start thinking, oh, maybe if I establish a penalty preventing consulting service, many small business owners are going to pay me. You see, but this can happen if you truly discover that, oh, the SMEs in the marketplace, they have issues with actually paying taxes. And because of these issues, they end up not paying taxes on time and they incur penalties. Right? So that workbook will help you to also identify clearly the market pain problems that you can solve with your skill set and with your knowledge. All right, number 3, what is a third thing to do when you are trying to move from that confusion to clarity to products or to services that people can pay you for? Extract the hidden patterns. And that's one thing that step 1 and step 2 will help you do. It will help you go back into your experience and with talking to these people to extract some hidden patterns in your journey. You see, I have spoken to many people and they always feel that their career journey is random. Some will feel that, oh, maybe because my experience cut across agriculture, teaching, maybe pastoring, maybe what else? Healthcare. You just think that because you have had jobs in different establishments, your experience is random. No, it is not that random. There is a lot of related capabilities that you have developed across this journey. That's why in for career, if you talk to a career coach, they always talk a lot about what they call transferable skills. Like leadership is a transferable skill. If you were a leader in an agricultural company, you became a leader in healthcare, and you became a leader in consumer goods company. You see, you are leading teams and all of that. There are some experiences that even though you're cutting across different industries, there are some skill sets that they are transferable. There are some capabilities that are strongly related. And that's what I'm calling hidden patterns. So if you look at where you're coming from, you may feel that your journey is random. For example, I was talking to a lady and she's at the moment she's a stay-at-home mom. But before that, she was a professional and she was working. I'm like, look, don't feel that you're staying at home with your kids. There are a lot of experiences from that journey that if we relate it to what you studied in school and to your previous experience, we are going to find some hidden patterns that if we add up, we can build products that can help you to become a stay-at-home mom and holding virtual consultations and making money at the same time. You see that? So it's the same like for you and for me. There are some hidden patterns that if you study your journey, you're going to see that, oh, this thing I did in 2015, look at what I did in 2020. I can I can pick out an experience from here, pick out this experience and form a pattern or a product or a service that somebody can pay me for. You see, so your mission here in extracting hidden patterns is to begin to connect the dots between your experiences to find a core expertise. Begin to connect the dots from your experiences to find what is that core expertise that you can refine it and package it into a paying product. You see, so as you're looking back at your experience, you're even looking back at your knowledge acquisition journey. You have done different programs, different short programs, or even longer programs, diploma programs, a BSc, MSc, MBA, short programs, 3 months, 2 months. You can also find a lot of related patterns in those programs. And you can find related patterns in your own experience. You combine the two, you find a core expertise that you can make money from. Because patterns will always reveal themselves when you are studying it, when you sit down to begin to plot a graph. And that's why I always advise people that have a general CV where you write everything that is happening in your career journey. My own CV at the moment is like 30 something pages. Everything that happens to me professionally, I put it on that CV with a date and with a month. All right. Is that, for example, if you have taken this program after 1 month, go and put it on your CV because it is something that it has added to your professional journey. You see, the challenge of many people is that they don't know how to document their career journey. And it makes you lose out on a lot of people. There are many people, you are guilty of this particular thing I'm talking about. There are so many things that are happening in your life professionally that you cannot remember again. You cannot professionally remember them, right? For many people, you need to go and spend time and document all of those things because I guarantee you, you will never know the day that it will help you, right? You will never know. And there are some experiences that there are some opportunities that they will not be looking for your particular expertise. They want to look at your journey. Okay, let's look at his journey. Can we trust him with this project based on his whole journey? You see that? And apart from that, it will help you to find core expertise because you now have different experiences that you can connect dots. This is what happened here 10 years ago. What is happening currently? You can see a dot, you can see a pattern that if you connect it, you can now refine into a whole product. Okay, so for many of you in this program, one assignment you may have is go and sit down, try to document your journey into a general CV. And thank God for things like Google Docs. Mine is on Google Docs. So anywhere I find myself, I can access it, right? So any little thing that happens to me, I document it. I put it there. Because many a times I go back there and I pick a few things that I can use to refine what I'm building currently, or even an opportunity I'm trying to apply for. You see, because let me tell you something, guys. As a professional, there is no wasted experience. I am telling you, there is no wasted experience. As long as you are growing, see, if you are growing in your professional journey, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a professional, you're a working professional, there is no wasted experience. Is it a 1 day conference, a 2 days conference? Is it a project you did in church? Is it a project you did in a family business? There is no wasted experience. Let me tell you something that happened one time. I was recruited. I used to do that a lot, but now it is very, very minimal. Where I used to be invited to, because I used to run a recruitment firm a few years ago. And I used to sit on a lot of recruitment boards, right, to recruit executives and young people and fresh graduates and all of that. There was a particular lady that the only thing that made her to be recruited was that she was the one that planned almost 80% of her younger sister's wedding. It's a project because it involves money, logistics, people, a lot of things that happen in a normal business setting. So I said, okay, tell me, I asked her from the beginning of the planning to when, to 2 months to the wedding. Tell me the process you went through. And that was what got her the job. You see, to her, it was just a family thing. But that was a whole project that she handled because you cannot plan a wedding if you don't have planning skills, coordination, managerial skills, leadership skills, even foresighting, anticipation, role play scenario. There are different things that come into play that you use, right? Those things are valuable in the marketplace. You see that? So I was just giving that example to tell you that you have a lot of experiences that you are minimizing, but they are valuable in the marketplace if you just know how to package it and refine it and how to connect the dots with those experiences. You see that? For example, there was a consulting contract I got that paid me a few millions, right, with a large multinational. Do you know why they gave me that contract? Because I told them that I have done DS Max, direct sales, where you move door to door, you knock the door, and then somebody opens. You try to sell them something, right? If you know that type, I know that, right? I have done DS Max for those who are not Cameroonians in a town called Boya, 2009, right? Went from door to door and selling things, selling perfume, selling roulons, selling what again? Kitchen utensils, things like that. Now, what got me that consulting job was that I had to bring that experience in when I was presenting my consulting offer. I said, look, I have done this, and I've done this, and I've done this, and I've done this. And I said, based on this experience, I have an upper hand to understand how to design this strategy for these people. And boom, I got the contract. You see, so one thing that, let me tell you something, especially for many of us here, that we are looking at really solving problems at this level, right? At a bigger level, is don't don't minimize some things in your journey. They are very important for you and even to help you serve your clients better. Okay, those hidden patterns are gold if you know how to not only package them, but drive conversations around them that shows that this one is truly a professional at what they are saying. Okay, so extract the hidden patterns, right? Let me give you um, another example so you really understand how this can work for you, right? Now, before I give you the example, the power here is that repetition of similar skills or similar problem solving across different environments indicates that you have something reliable to offer, right? It's like a teacher. Like in Cameroon, teachers get to teach different classes and different subjects, one teacher, right? That repeated pattern, addressing almost the same kind of people, although different subject matters, it communicates to you, it communicates you as somebody who has developed reliable skill set. You see that. Now, for example, I was working with a pastor to help the pastor establish a training and consulting business. And I asked him, I said, as a man of God, have you organized crusades before? He said, yes. I said, do you know that you can establish a nonprofit in this area And part of your major selling point for donors is that you are good at mobilizing communities for causes. He was like, really? I said, yes. One heavy skill in the NGO sector is mobilization. So you can sell that you are good at mobilizing communities for a cause, for a project, right? And then we started building around that. You see, but I could identify that because I was trying to connect dots from his pastoring, what he studied in school, based on the NGO sector he wants to break into. I connected the dots and said, okay, look, we can capitalize on this. And this, your track record, will help donors to trust you more because it is something reliable and they will happily partner with you. Okay? So, what are the hidden patterns in your career journey? Go sit down. First of all, document it and then study it. I guarantee you, you will see so many hidden patterns. Okay? When you do that, the next step is step 4, which is where you choose your core market. Right? The first 3 are the most critical. If you get the first 3 right, the last 6 is easy. All right. If you don't do the first 3, the last 6 will not help you in any way. All right. So number 4 is choose your core market. Now, in simple terms, avoid selling to everyone. I always tell experts, selling to everyone keeps you broke. Right? Selling to everyone keeps you broke. You see, the first sign you're going to be a struggling poor professional is that you have a product for everyone. And it's not going to help you in any way. Define your who by either the profession, the pain points, the results they want to get, and even their income level. Right? So, who are you selling to? Define the who. All right.
Yeah.
Many people need to spend time to define the who that they are supposed to sell to. That is your core market. Who is your core market? Right? For example, when I am promoting skills and knowledge monetization, I know that the people who are supposed to attend are people either command a good body of knowledge around something or people who have just gone through, they have experience around different things in their journey that they can happily monetize it. So, like someone was trying to partner with me, and I said, no, this program is not good for you know. She runs like a high school program. I said, no, 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 it's not for high school people. I'm not targeting them at all. So I could say no instantly because I know my core markets, right? I am not selling to everyone. It's the same like I do a lot of business strategy consulting. I have some consulting offers that if your business not making certain amount of money monthly, I cannot offer that consulting to you because you can even pay for it and it's okay. Right? So when you choose your core market, it also helps you to market easily. So for all of you here that want to start monetizing your knowledge and your experience, one thing you must be good at is choose your major core market. Let other people benefit because of a spillover. Okay? Let others benefit because of a spillover. But have a core market that you're targeting. Who are your target market? Everyone. No, you're going to be very broke. And people like that hardly sell. Right? So define your who or your target market either by their profession, by their pain points, by their desired results, and even by their income level, or even where they live. All right? Because defining that specific market will force clarity on who truly needs your services. Because without this clarity, you are going to dilute your message and you're going to waste a lot of effort chasing everyone. You are not supposed to be chasing everyone. You are supposed to position for the core market to find you and happily pay for you. A good businessman does not chase. A good businessman positions, right? And then they start paying for you. So looking at that particular product or that particular skill set and experience that you have, who are likely going to be your core market? Because one thing I love about the core market is that they understand your language and you understand their language. So your market messaging, your advertisement, your content creation becomes easy. Like I always fondly say something that if you my posts on social media hardly go viral, but I'm always getting clients because I'm posting for the right people. I'm not posting for everybody. Like sometimes I write very long content that somebody said it's too long for me to read. I came and replied, I'm not writing for you. The guy got angry, right? I'm not writing for you. The people I'm writing for, they read and they ask more questions and they end up paying me for a service, right? So I know my core market. I know who I'm writing for. I'm not writing for everybody. So if you don't have the patience to sit and read and think through, you are not my target market. And I'm okay with that. You see that? Because I know my core market. I know who I'm targeting. And if you are going to if you are going to ever charge premium clients, premium price, you must be good at choosing your core market. Please. You must be good at choosing your core market. Okay? Because when you clearly understand the core market and their frustrations, and you clearly establish the transformation that you bring into their lives, you easily charge a premium price and they easily pay for it. Right? And here's the beauty in the marketplace. When you narrow your market, the higher your perceived authority. When you narrow your market, the higher your perceived authority and the higher you can charge for it. Right? Let me share with you a story. I have so many stories from my journey I can share with you guys, right? In 2020, in the heat of COVID-19, there was this international NGO in Cameroon that wanted a particular expert. So they could not bring the expert from the US because of COVID-19. And they were talking with the US Embassy. I've done a few programs with the US Embassy in training and all of that. And then I said, do you know Joybert? Said, no, not head of him. So he can do this. He's the only person that we know that can do this. Because we're trying to lobby for, the US government to allow the person to come in and all of that. They say, no, if this guy cannot come, he can do it for your team. He's the only person we can recommend at the moment. And then they recommended, they came to me, I charged my price. Because what they were asking to train for is a narrow skill. And that was a narrow market, right? And my authority was perceived high. So I charged my premium price and I stayed there. So either you pay me or you go import the guy I want to import. And I stayed there. They went up and down, up and down. A few days later, they came and paid the fee I was asking for. Why? Narrow market, perceived authorities increase. You see, there are many people that people cannot vouch for you in a particular area. You are trying to please everyone, and nobody rises like that. Even Apple is not selling for everyone, right? That's why they are not desperate to enter the African market, right? Because they know that at this particular level, there are some markets that they cannot afford the cost of their phones. Okay? So you must be comfortable at knowing that even though I need the money, and even though this person wants to pay me less, I'm not going to take the money. Yes. You must be comfortable with that. Many people are not comfortable with that. See, one good sign of maturity in business is be comfortable at letting the money go. So you can stay with the right authority and get paid at the right amount and create the right impact when the time comes. All right. Why? Because specialization attracts premium clients who value your expertise. You want to be valued, then you must be good at specialization. You see, a younger consultant came and asked me one time and said, I've noticed that clients don't pay me, because here's the idea, very funny idea, but he was making a good point. So he was like, they have never paid me, paid my flight ticket, paid my hotel, paid everything, and then they paid me again. How do I come to that level where these companies or these people who host conferences happily they pay for everything and still pay me like they do with you? I started laughing. I said, look, I said, bring me your portfolio. So you are too general. That's why they cannot do that for you. People cannot go the extra mile to have you. They cannot go the extra mile to hire you because there's no specialization. You're too everywhere. You're too everywhere. You're too general, right? That's why, like, I always give an example. I hardly do program. You hardly see me talking about general program like passion, purpose, things like that. Any Tom and Jerry can do that, right? One of my goals is I want to solve the most difficult problems. Find what is difficult in your industry. Try to be good at it. That is how to attract premium clients and get premium prices. If you're doing the easy stuffs, there are things you cannot command in your industry. Pay the price and do the hard stuff. Tell them, go deeper, go deeper. And here's the good thing. Anybody who can be specialized can always do the general stuff. So when they need a general person, they can still pay you. If they need a specialized person, they will still pay you. And that's the power of choosing your core market. You specialize in solving their problems. All right. So work on that. Work on that. Number 5, craft your core promise. Craft your core promise. Now, this is actually one of the most important things to know how to do. Craft your core promise. Why? Because without a promise, to some people, you're making noise, right? That's why even God gives promises, right? So, without a promise, to many people, you are literally making noise. Okay. So, it, one popular way to craft your promise is to say the people that you help and the results that you achieve for them. Okay, that's the meaning of crafting your core promise. Now, let me share this in the chat box like an action so that people can try to craft their core promise. Okay, craft a core promise. Now, this is it. A core promise is where you're trying to explain that this is this is who I help, and this is the result I create for this person. And this is the pain that they avoid. For example, one of my specialization is that I provide a lot of, as a believer and somebody who serves in the church as a servant of God. One thing I love doing now, especially, is helping Christian entrepreneurs to build their authority and influence in the marketplace without compromising their faith or their values. Like one thing I champion is you can be rich, wealthy, prosperous, and righteous at the same time. All right. So I work a lot with Christian entrepreneurs to help them double their clients, double their profits, increase their influence, have a voice in their industries without compromising their faith. So how can I craft that as a promise? If I'm talking to a group of Christian entrepreneurs, if they give me, Dr. Joybert, can you tell us what you do in 60 seconds? Oh, very easy. Now, for me, I have core promises for different set of people depending on who I'm addressing. And a good professional should do that. I can present my expertise in different dimensions, right? So let's say that they have invited me to speak to a group of men in a men's conference. I've done that a few times, women's conference a few times, right? So, I help Christian entrepreneurs to double their clients and their profits and increase in influence without compromising their faith. After the meeting, people want to double clients, double profit, grow in influence, they will come and stand at my table. That's a promise, right? I help who? Do what without doing what? You get that? So I want to challenge you people right now in the chat box. All right. In the chat box right now, can you try to craft your promise off head? Can you try to do that? All right. Like what I just did. Can you try to craft your promise while we proceed? Try to do that. Let me see if you got what I'm trying to say. All right. So, and that's something that for those who are in the program, before you end the program, you should have different promises. Right. For example, if I'm talking to somebody who wants to monetize their knowledge, I'm like, I help you to monetize the current knowledge that you have in 21 days without learning a new skill. I can help you start making money from what you know now without literally going back to school. You see, different ways. Because you need to say a promise, something that when somebody hears, they see value, they see expertise, and they see you solving their problem. Okay? So craft a promise. Why? Because if you're just speaking grammar without a promise, people don't understand you. And they'll find it difficult to see why they should pay you. Because when you have a promise, it translates expertise to tangible outcomes. It's one of the best ways to translate your expertise into tangible outcomes in a way that people can visualize. Like what I just said now, if there's a Christian person here, they'll start thinking, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a believer, I want to make more money. Maybe he can help me. He start thinking like that. He can visualize what I can do for him or her. You get the perspective. All right. So look at what you do. Look at your body of knowledge. Look at your experience. What is the promise you can craft from that? Okay? Because people buy outcomes, not credentials, not complicated explanations. And this is one thing many people don't know how to. People give a lot of complicated explanations, a lot of credentials. Oh, what do you do? I have two PhDs. I did a master in London. I did this. That does not solve problems, my friend. That does not impress people. Trust me. I have been on a few rooms on a few different countries. That does not help people. And the funny, I always tell people that I have never been asked where I studied and what I studied in the so many countries I've been to train and consult. Because as long as you can drive outcomes, they don't care where you're coming from, right? They don't really care. Just can you solve this problem from in my business, in my life? Can you do that? That's what I'm looking at. You see that? So, and here's the trick. Good. I like seeing that. That's awesome. Look at all these promises. Now, here's the thing. The first one must not be perfect. Okay? You are going to refine it, and then you're going to have a few. And then the more you work on it, you begin to discover that, oh, I can have a promise for for this person. I can have a promise for this, a promise for this, a promise for this, a promise for this, and all of that. And that's how you begin to have a few promises, but around one central area of expertise or experience or industry that you can command the result. Okay, so write down those promises, perfect them, and you'll be amazed at the kind of impact that you can create. Now, number 6, after you have a promise, the next thing to now create is to design your flagship offer. For those who are in the program, there's a course that will teach you how to create high value products from your experience. That's your flagship offer. How to create a high value product, because there are high value products that governments can pay you for, products that corporate organizations can pay you for, products that universities can pay you for, right? Products that even churches can pay you for, right? So after you craft your promise, because your promise, it gives you like the base, you now begin to stand on it and begin to build other things like a flagship offer, a flagship product, right? Why? Because every expert needs a signature service that people can remember and refer them to. Every expert needs that. If I ask you as an expert, apart from the many things that you can do, tell me, what is your signature service? What is your signature product that you have to offer? Right? Package your your solution into a clear deliverable that people can understand. That's why if you notice, most experts, they have maybe like an annual conference that they do every year. To many people, that is their flagship offer. Out of that flagship offer, many things come out of it. For some people, they are known for a flagship offer that is a one-on-one coaching product that they have created that people pay for consistently. For others, it's a short program, like a 1 week program, a 1 month program that people partake in the program monthly. It's a flagship offer. So for all the people taking this program, one thing that you must have before you graduate is what will be your flagship offer. Because one thing about the flagship offer is that it becomes the cornerstone of your identity. That's why I like to do programs in cohorts. It's because cohorts are my flagship offer, right? I have a cohort program for this, and for this. That's my flagship offer. It depends on your style. It depends on your work. It depends on your schedule. It depends on many things. But sit down and have a flagship offer, right? It's very important because it becomes the cornerstone of your identity. Something that when somebody sees, or when they see you, when they hear you, or even in the industry, they know that, you see, this particular program, this is the honor of this identity. This is the honor of this brand. Very, very important. Okay, because as an expert, one thing that you must have in your life is that as you begin to grow, have something that people can instantly associate you with. Have something like that, right? Like in Cameroon, I used to organize yearly programs, like a date with success, or peak performance conference. Those are programs I used to do every year, right? And these things became synonymous to my name per se, right? Why? Because when you have something that's a flagship offer like that, it establishes authority to your brand name. It establishes credibility to the works that you do, right? So there are different offers. Yours could be a coaching program. Yours could be a training service. Yours could be a conference. Yours could even be a book. Yours could be whatever. But look at that and say, okay, based on my industry, based on my experience, based on the kind of impact I want to create, based on the kind of work I do, this is the kind of flagship offer I'm going to create and begin to promote it out there for people. Now, on the flagship offers, different programs can come out of it, right? Like on the monetization program that I do, the skills and monetization academy like this is the flagship offer. But under it, people pay for private coaching, one-on-one coaching, different things that people want from it, and then other sub products come out of it. But there is a main flagship offer that is being promoted out there. I don't need to promote other small products. No, the flagship offer attracts clients to the smaller products. There are people that will say, oh, Dr. Jabet, I don't want to take the academy. Can I pay you for you to work with me one-on-one? I don't want the training. Can you pay? Okay, this is this and this is this. And then, now, the beauty of this is that your flagship offer can be something that is a bit cheaper. Like, for example, the academy is a bit cheaper, right? It's the cheapest in the whole stuff that I offer as far as monetization is concerned. It's the cheapest offer I have under that. But it's a flagship offer. But there are people that say, okay, you know what? I want a one-on-one consulting with you. So, okay, that's fine. But you see, it costs this amount, like times 10 of the fee that people pay for the academy. You see that? They say, okay, I'm okay with that. I want a one-on-one work with you for this duration, and this is my expectations. Okay, that's fine. Let's get the work done. But what brought the consulting clients? The flagship offer, right? So many times, flagship offer is a bit cheaper, it's a bit popular, but as an expert, it begins to draw people to you who may not want the flagship offer, but when they see the flagship offer, they're like, oh, if she can do this, it therefore means that she can solve this my problem. They will not come and ask you. Okay, so like in model 8 or 9, where it's going to teach you how to create 10 income streams from one area of expertise. So out of those 10 products or 10 income streams, one of those streams can become your main flagship offer that you promote a lot. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, you have a robust 9 different products that you can still sell to people and they happily pay for it. Because one thing that you must be good as a businessman is that always have options for people when they come to you. That's the beauty of business. Have options. Because your main aim should be that when somebody comes to you, it should take a lot of, how do I say, it should take a lot of grace for the person to live without spending money. That's one good sign of a business person. You are not desperate. No, you're not anxious, but you have created a system around you that when somebody carries out inquiry, you will have so many options, valuable options to give them, that there must be something that they can buy from you. And if they cannot buy, they can come back later and buy. You get the perspective. But what brought them? A flagship offer that you are offering, right? Because the strong offer creates that credibility. It shows that you have the structure, you have the system, and it positions you beyond generic voices. There is something in business we call category leadership. If you want to be an expert who commands category leadership, one thing you must have is a flagship offer on your name. What is that offer that you consistently promote? What is it? Is it a book? Okay, fine. Is it a yearly conference? Okay, good. Is it a workshop you organize three times every 3 months, or every 3 times every year? Perfect. Is it a video course you have recorded and you're promoting? Fine. But what is the flagship offer that you're promoting? It brings you into that category leadership position in your industry. That is what makes you a separate expert in your own industry. All right. So, as a business coach, you can create maybe a 90-day revenue improvement program, and you recruit people every 90 days and they go through. And people in your industry, in your town, in your country, they know that, hey, if you want to improve your revenue, the program to take is Coach B's 90-day revenue improvement program. You see that? Or you're into relationship, counseling, and you can create a program, a weekly or a monthly a singles coaching conference or summit or whatever, and you can create a particular theme: how to prepare for marriage as a single lady with a career and a steady source of income. Because your mission could be that I want to stop, or I want to help single ladies to get into marriage with a steady career and with a steady source of income. That could be your niche. Okay, you focus on it, and then you do it repeatedly. It becomes your flagship program. And before you know it now, because of what you're doing consistently, churches start hiring you, paying you to come and speak in the relationship conferences. Other coaches start paying you to come and speak in their own conferences. You see, now you start getting those opportunities. Why? Because of the flagship program that you run. You see, many of my speaking engagements, they come from flagship programs. Because people see what I run, and then when they're organizing conferences around that topic, they're like, oh, Joybert runs this program, therefore he's a better person to speak on this. You see? Why? Remember, I said that a flagship program is the cornerstone of your brand. It gives your brand a voice in the marketplace. Okay? So, if you do these 6 things, you will say bye bye to confusion. Bye bye to having any confusion as far as your career or your business or your experience is concerned. All right, because that was the focus of today: how to move people from being confused on what part of my career can I turn into a product that can make money. So if you go through this 6-step process, I guarantee you, you will be able to do that. So for people who are in the Academy program, I want to challenge to ensure that you fill that workbook, All right. When we're going to meet next time in our live class, you can happily share them with me while you field and ask questions, and I will happily provide counsel where necessary. Stop. Right. That is it for today's session. I have time for supposed to end by we're supposed to end in 10 minutes. All right. So if there are questions, I can address questions around this topic, or if there's any other question, I can address it if you think I can be of help to that worry of yours. All right. Any questions for me? You can type in the chat box, or you can raise up your hand and I will unmute you and you will ask your question. If you're on YouTube, feel free to ask your question, or on Facebook, somebody from the media team will see it and send to me. Any questions? All right, I see a hand up. All right, I see two hands up. That's good. Yes, let me start with Paulette. How I got your name right? Paulette. I had a schoolmate in secondary school named what we used to call her Paulette. All right. Yes. I think you're muted. No, you're not muted, but I cannot hear you. It's not from my end. Nope. It's from your end. We cannot still hear you. Let me try Apostle Benes. Apostle Benes, can you ask a question while Paulette is sorting herself out?
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Dr. Jerry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I don't really have a question, but I just have a comment. And I just want to appreciate the great work you're doing. And just from this first session, I have a lot of clarity, and I know that I can be able to map my way forward. Just a comment to
Awesome.
appreciate. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that comment. Yes, and this is just model one. You guys still have, you know, you will, if you, I always say that if you leave this program and you're not guaranteed that you can make money from what you know, we need to organize special prayer for you. All right. Yes, if says I should work on transforming my stay-at-home mom experience into a marketable product. Oh, yes, you should do that. There's a lady I worked with, that her baby was struggling from a lot of rashes, right? So because of that, she read a lot of books and watched a lot of videos, and she noticed that many mothers were complaining that on different forums, like on Facebook groups and on what's this other media platform? Is it Quora? Yes, Quora. Do you know what we did? We converted her experience into step by step home recipe products, harmless recipe products for kids that moms can use to handle rashes and all of that. And she was selling, $15 and all of that. There was a month she made almost $1,000 from it, just being at home, right? So see, the goal is that what have you gone through that you like in one of the courses, it will show you how to create a step-by-step framework from your experience so others can pay and go through what you went through and produce almost the same results like you. All right, so you can definitely do that. My confusion is that my domain is very broad, though I know it all, but I am confused where to start. Did you start this particular training from the beginning? Because this training is supposed to sort all of that, right? So maybe you need to go to a recording again. Because if you know all of it, they should be making money from a good part of it. And here's one thing. Look, because you know all things in an industry or in a particular sector doesn't mean that you must. You can know all things. It doesn't mean that all things can make money, right? So, like we said, in all things that you know, what is the marketable pain problem? That is, find it. Then that's where you need to start. What is the marketable paying problem? These three things, then you start from there. All right. The market is there, the market can pay for it, and there are frustrations, market paying problems. Start from there, right, sir? So you should not be confused because in all that you know, there is a main problem that is the market has it, they can pay for it, and there's a problem. Start from there. All right, and you're good to go. Good. Let's go to, okay, somebody is Paulette. Were you able to sort out your issues? Can you try again before we come to this Samsung person? Let me see. All right, let me unmute. I can. All right, yes, go ahead, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so thank you for your time. Even though I came on the program a bit late, given that the clients at the shop were coming in and coming out, so I got on the program a bit late, but I got some very important things.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to just ask that in terms of monetizing one's skill set to have maybe more income, does somebody need any kind of validation from any authority to say that okay, you are now able to do this and earn that? So sometimes I think that we need somebody to validate that okay, now you're good at doing this, so do it.
Mhm.
So is it that
Yeah.
one takes upon himself that okay, I can do it, I know you do it, or do you need
Okay.
somebody to tell you that okay, I've checked you and you can do it now, then do it? So
Okay.
it's about validation.
Now,
Is it really necessary, or is it about belief?
now, some industries may need it, but if you're in a particular industry, like for example, a doctor, right? You already validated, that's why you call a doctor, right? So many a times it's just the issue of self-confidence because there are many industries that you don't need anybody's validation. I know a guy who is wrecking almost $50,000 every month from providing coaching and business that he left high school, right? So, and he has never been certified. He's just good at it. So that's why I said that in the marketplace, they pay for transformation. They pay for the outcomes that you can create through your skills and your solutions. So if you are good at something and there is no board that is supposed to regulate, and that's why, like I always say in business, many a times if the work you're supposed to do does not have to do with human body, really, you literally just have the right to begin to do. For example, do you know the money people make from being YouTubers and then people paying them to counsel them because they just say some funny things on a YouTube video? You're making good money from it, right? So
Yeah.
if your industry is not what you're doing is not does not require kind of a lot of scientific validation. You don't need any of that. Just get to work, package your product, and start selling. Because what the government cases is, are you paying taxes, right? So if you're making a lot of money, start thinking of how can you register your business, and of course, make sure that you don't have issues with the only authority that can shut you down if you're messing up. Okay, so the main thing is, are you paying your taxes? That's the main thing to sort out, and you're good to go. Okay, so just look at the industry you're going to. Are there some scientific things that must be done? And then if you're willing to do that, all right, get it done and then package it and start selling. If not, majority of the industries don't require that. They just people just have problems. And can you solve their problems? All right, get it done and charge for it, and you're good to go. And here's the funny thing: many people in the marketplace, if you can solve the problem, they will hardly ever ask you, are you certified to do this? Hardly,
Okay.
right?
Can I
Because
ask a follow up?
you
Okay.
have the proof for it, all right? Except if there's a particular industry that you have let me know that you want to, that you're talking, if you're industry, fine. All right. If not, just go ahead.
Okay. Finally, can I ask you a follow-up question? The last one.
Yes, please.
On a personal note, if you may, if it doesn't bother you, when you began your career, the way you began it, which everybody knows that from Banter, did you go have this issue that maybe I'm not good at this, maybe I'm good at this before you began, or you just said that
Yeah.
okay,
Everybody,
I can do it, let me do it.
yeah, everybody has it. Everybody, even till now, Elon Musk has it, right? See, that even till now, I still always have it sometimes. All right. It always arises. Why? Because it is, you can call it coach is that the voice of the enemy, right? Because the highest person that can limit yourself is you. Okay, and let me tell you something. Anytime you want to do a project that you have never done before, I guarantee you that voice will rise. But a doubt. Now, I am forced to go scriptural. My foundation are reading the scriptures, right? My beliefs are reading the scriptures. Let me say this. Look, a doubt only becomes a voice against you in the spirit realm when it says it and you don't do it because the voice said it. But if a doubt comes as a thought and you still go against a thought and act on it, it will never have anything against you again. It is silence forever at that level. Except when you do
Okay.
something new again that you have never done before, and the thought rises. The point is that people allow thoughts to be reality. So when that thought comes against you, still go against it and do it. And you have defeated that thought at that level. You have grown both mentally and maybe kind of at a spiritual level. Okay. So the thought will come. The question is, what will you do with the thought? Will you allow the thoughts to win, or you will allow your real you? Because the real you that created, the real you is the you that created the idea. Is a creative you. Is that image of God that can create, right? That's a real you. So when that thought is an external thought, it's either an environmental thought, it is either a poor education thought, it is either a community thought, it's a thought coming, there's a root cause of that particular thought. But the real you, which is the creative dimension of you, the God image of you, you have the right and the privilege to accept the thought or to ignore the thought and still do what you intended to do. Then the voice is silenced for good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard you. Thank you very much, sir.
Awesome. All right. So Rita's question is, my question was about the fact that I always want to do so many things at the same time. And most of the time I get confused and end up abandoning everything. So I don't really feel excellent on one domain. Now, let me give you a trick. Rita, let me give you a trick. I'm going to challenge you. I have done this for many people, and on a 100%, the result always comes. Rita, from today, right? We said that if you want to identify one area, right, look for an area that the market is there, the problem is there, and the people are willing to pay for, right? Now, start with that idea, start with that one idea, and then set a financial goal. Like recently, I was talking with a lady and I said, okay, she's like you, very good at so many things. I said, no, you know what? You cannot be having 5 businesses with little money. You're cutting yourself thin and none is making good money. I challenged her and I said, look, start this business. And I asked her questions. On your best month, how much can this business make as sales? She told me. And I gave her a target. I said, look, you're only permitted to add another business when this business has grown and is making at least 5 million every month in profit. That is when you are permitted to start something new. If that never happens, you are not permitted. Do we agree? She said yes. So Rita, I'm going to give you the same challenge. I have done this for many people who are always tempted to, they start this it's not working yet very well. Something new comes in. Let me give for everybody here, please, because ideas come to your mind doesn't mean you should execute. An idea can come to your mind just because you have a thinking mind, because you are just good at spotting opportunities. People confuse ideations for execution. Okay, so pick one area. Maybe it could be right now, Rita, it could be an area right now that it is something you have been working on already. Go back to that one thing and then set yourself a goal. Okay, based on this result, I will not start something new until metric number one, this idea is making at least this amount of money every month. Number two, until it is employing 2 people. Number three, until I can travel for 1 week without having sleepless nights about this idea. You can set, I'm just giving examples, set the criteria and then discipline yourself to focus on it. I am not making a new move until this particular criteria is met by this particular idea. If not, now, one challenge with gifted people is that they end up being everywhere and they never produce any significant result. 10 years after, gifted, but they're living hand to mouth. You know why? Because they are not blessed. Because they keep cutting themselves thin on different things and they don't command excellent expertise at anything that somebody can pay them so well, or they can become so good at that business that even competitors are afraid of them. Okay, so set yourself a goal. Ideas can come, write them down, keep them aside, and focus on I have a goal for this business. Until this business start making $25,000 every month or $50,000 every month. You're in Canada, right? I am not moving to any new idea. Any new idea I will entertain is the idea that can help this particular business achieve the goal I set. If you do that, Rita, I guarantee you in 6 months, you'll be amazed at the results you can produce in that particular idea. You'll be amazed. So set that, focus on it, and you'll see the progress, how it goes. All right, that is it, everybody. We're supposed to end at 3:30 Central Time, 9:30 GMT plus 1. That is it for today. And I hope that those who are not members of the Code 4, you've learned something and you'll be prepared to register for Code 5 when we launch admissions a few days from now. So for those in Cohort 4, one thing that will also happen is that there is an AI assistant that I have developed, because you guys know that 80% of the program is recorded videos, right? But there's an AI assistant that I have trained. I sat down, I took all my ideas I know about monetizing any skill from the beginning to marketing to sales, everything. And I have trained that AI. It's like when you're talking to the AI, they are talking to me. Like ask him questions as if you're asking, I'm calling it him. Ask it questions, right? As if you're asking me questions. It is thinking like me. I have trained it with all my thinking patterns as far as monetization is concerned. All right. So I'm going to share the link. It's not public, it's only for those who go to my program. I will share the link in the group. You access it. Like all these points I have shared with you, you can take one of the points and say, okay, this is what I want to do. This is who I am. Can you help me refine this particular perspective? I'll send with a video to help you do that. And you can use that AI. Anywhere you feel stuck about anything, just open the AI, ask a question. It will give you the answer as if I was the one giving you the same response, even maybe better than me. All right, because it has more data than what my brain can store and give you at the same hour. All right, so wait for that instructions in the group. And also, I'll be giving all of you access to the learning platform on the group very, very soon on your private numbers on WhatsApp. Our inbox will give you a unique code to access the learning platform and begin to go through all the 21 courses that have been prepared for you. And you see some courses have model workbooks to download. The workbooks are to help you, okay, help you to make sure that you have all the support that you need. And there's a capstone. All right, there's a capstone. It means at the end there are some things that you must fulfill before you are certified that you have gone through the skill monetization program. There's a capstone project that is supposed to develop a project for you on your what you're selling, your products, your services, your marketable offers, your launching strategies, the products, and then I review it, provide counsel just to help me hold you accountable and to help yourself hold yourself accountable and leave this program with practical results, practical products that you can take to the market. All right. Nobody has any excuse because I have done my best to create different things that can help you. For example, there's a 21 days launch sequence. That means after the program, I have developed a 21 days launch sequence. Some giving you what to do for the next 21 days to launch your product on different platforms, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on wherever. So there's no excuse actually. It's like I have chewed everything for you and I said, please take and just swallow, right? Bad example, but that's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So no laziness, execution at the highest level, and you have all the support that you need. You have the AI assistant, you have me. So no excuses on the result, right? On the result, on the money, on the products, on the impact, on the influence. All right, people, God bless you.